Alright, welcome to part 4 of this video. In this video, we're going to create a domain and point the domain to our website. So here you're going to spend about $3 for the whole year. So if you're willing to do that, go ahead and register a domain. If you don't want to spend $3 for the whole year, then it's up to you and the lab can be optional. So, but to do this lab, you need to make sure you're in your AWS management console and then search for Route 53 and select Route 53 here. And when you click on that, come straight to where it says register domain, and or make sure you're on the dashboard and then register domain. Here, think of a domain name to use. It will be easier to just use your names. .click, we're using .click. If you use a .com or .net or .org or any other top level domain here, you'll be required to pay at least $15. So domain.click is going to be the cheapest, which is $3. So I recommend you use this one. Whatever you want to register, put it there. At the end, put click. Then click on check. And in my own case, it's going to be correct. It says an exact match and it's still available. If it's not available, it will tell you and you have to look for another domain name. In that case, you come here and change it and then select search again and go until you find something which is unique. This domain name has to be unique throughout the whole world and no one else must have bought it yet. In my own case, I click select and then you see it's telling me I'll pay $3. This will be taken out of the credit card that you use to register with AWS. So you are not going to pay right now. It will be taken out of your account. So click on proceed. And then once you are here, if you want, you can auto renew next year. If you want, you can check it off. In my own case, I'm not going to create it anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. I do next. And all the information about your account are here. Yeah, if you want to change anything, go ahead and change it. Otherwise, just go to next. And every information about your account is presented here. All you have to do is make changes if you want. Otherwise, click submit. I'm not going to create it because I have a domain I'm going to use. So I'm going to cancel. And once I cancel, I will go and use my domains. In your own case, if you went ahead and created a domain, you will see it available here when you come to register domain. Okay, so domain registered. Now I'm going to use this one. As you see, I have two. I'm going to use this one. So I click on that and I see all the details about this domain here. This is important to compare those two when we create our target, when we register a host, target host very soon. Okay, so basically you come here and click on your domain here. Oh, sorry, come here to hosted zone. When you come to hosted zone, you're going to see two domains. In my own case, I have two. You have only one. So click on create hosted zones and put the domain name. If you register your name, put your name here. In my own case, I'm going to use Cloud Tech Academy.click, which is the domain that I registered over there. cloudtechacademy.click. Make sure you spell that correctly. Leave this as public hosted and click hosted zone. Okay, when I did that, I had that one created, which is going to be under cloudtechacademy.click. So I'm going to search here. Let's refresh. Okay, so when I click on that, I now have a hosted zone. But guess what? If I come back here, I had already created one before. And so you can see now I have two cloudtechacademy.click. Now this will give me a problem. So in your own case, make sure that you create it. But because I had it before, I'm going to delete that one because I don't need it. I need just one of them. If I have two, I'm going to have issues in accessing my website. Okay, so when you come create yours, now I already have mine, so I just click on the one I want to use. And you have these two records. These are created for you by default. I did not create this. Route 53 added them. But for me to access my website, I need to create one called the A record. So click on create record and then put a subdomain like www dot, it's going to be www.cloudtechacademy.click. If you want, you can use any subdomain like training, or you can use something like blog if you're using this for blogging. Otherwise, put www, or even leave it empty. If you leave it empty, then you're going to use just this to access a website. But let me just put www so we can use that to access a website. Make sure this is a record, then toggle that the alias to be blue. Then click here on endpoint and select alias to application and classic load balancer. Choose your region, US East 1, North Virginia, but it depends on where you created yours. If you created in Ohio, make sure you select Ohio. So select the load balancer. This is the load balancer we created earlier in this project. It's the only one available, so I just select it. Okay, make sure this is simple routing and then click create records. Now I have my A record here pointing to my load balancer. So ideally, if I click on this or copy that and paste here, I have access to my website. So now I can access this website using cloudacademy.click. So you can see anytime I click on this domain, it goes and hit my load balancer, and my load balancer goes and hit my application, which is Educate. So now I'm able to access it. But note one thing here is saying not secure, because currently we haven't put any certificate. And that is what we're going to put in the next step, which is step 5. But let me show you this. If you are doing this for the first time, you won't have any issue. But if you happen to do it and delete the project and do it again, you may run into this issue. So basically, if you run into this issue where you are not able to access your website, it might be that the information in your registered domain, okay, registered domain, all this information about the DNS here may be different from what you have here in your Route 53. In the Route 53 hosted zone, when you click on that, you see these domains here that were added for you. One is NS2031. Make sure it's the same as this one here, NS2031. Second one is NS56. Make sure that corresponds to the second one here, NS56. Third one is NS1496. Make sure third one is also NS1496. You won't have this problem, but if you, again, do it several times, then sometimes this information may not match. And in that case, you have to make sure that you make them match, which means you can go to this one here and go to Actions, Edit Name Servers, and in each one of this box, you have to come here, copy the first one, copy the dot, then come here and paste it. Okay, do for the 4 of them, then click save. But we're not doing that. Everything is good, so I just save it. Okay, so now we have been able to access our website using the domain. You see how easy that was? The next step is to make sure this website is secure. All right, see you in the next step.